Today's podcast will be a lot about how you can overcome the challenges and also what are the abilities you have to build in order to become excellent in everything you do. Hello, Julio. I'm so happy and thankful to have you here in our podcast, and I'm looking forward for you to share about your experience, your vision, and your journey in this field. And I know a lot of people that are working and building their careers in this industry will have a lot of to learn from your experience. So I'm very thankful and I grateful for having you here.
That's very nice from you. So I'm very happy to be here and maybe to share whatever comes during this conversation. And yes, let's go for it.
Yeah, so I wanted to begin with your journey, your beginning. And I was thinking that a lot of people know you from Pilates, yoga, and some brands in fitness industry. And I know that you first started as an athlete. And your first love in sport was karate. Yes. And I wanted you to share more about this beginning and how you begin practicing this sport. And
well, that was a lot of years ago.
Yes.
And I started with karate when I was 7 years old. It's funny, I found a little book where it was written martial arts. And then I took that little book and I was reading it, and you had this oriental master or whomever doing amazing things for me, you know, and you are 7 years old and then you have all these things in the imagination. And so, yes, I started to train myself just reading that little book. And then, of course, at that time, it was the end of the dictator in Spain, and you had these movies coming with Bruce Lee still. It was the 70s. And all of us, we were very much inspired on that because of that. And it was this gym, this club, very near to my home. And I started to practice Shotokan, which is one style of karate. And after 3 years practicing Shotokan, came a master from Japan to Alicante, because Alicante is my town. Toshiro Fujioka, which today I think is 8 or 9 dan in Goju Ryu. And he came to the city and I started practice Goju Ryu with him. But after 1 year, something like that, 1 year and a half, my friends brought me to Kyokushin. And that was the thing, love at first sight. I started with Kyokushin and then I kept practicing Kyokushin until maybe 22, 23 years old. So like 15 years I was practicing karate. And at that time I was competing in kumite, in kata and things like that. And it was kind of good. I was getting good results. And then by the end of that period, I started to compete also in knockdown, but there were a lot of different rules, a lot of organizations in Spain. And that was also the years in which I went to the university, to the physical education university in Madrid. And during the time of these studies, I transitioned into other sports. I practiced so many other sports. And then came fitness into the picture. And I entered in the university being a martial artist athlete. And I came out of the university much more into gymnastics, athletics, and things like that. And then I just went into the fitness industry.
Okay, so at first, did you imagine your future like this? Did you have like this mindset and this vision of your future, or it was like following?
That was funny.
With years.
I found a diary that my mother was taking,
Yes.
I don't know, like in a secret space at home. And in this diary, I saw pages and pages written, I want to be number one, I want to be number one, I want to be number one, but written in Spanish, no quiero ser el número uno, quiero ser el número uno, quiero ser el número uno, something like that was written, many, many pages. And I remember speaking with my friends at that time. There's a pejorative term in Kyokushin, they would call me catero in Spanish. It's like I'm from kata, and it's like catero, you are catero, because I was very technical, and in kata I was always getting good results. And I was saying, you have to find, I was young, but I was thinking you have to find what you have inside and for what you are good, no? What you are good for, or your potentials. You have to watch what is inside of you. And I don't care if it's going to be kumite, sparring, whatever. I just want to be the number one. I think it was a research for perfection or for evolution towards perfection in whatever field would come. I think after, when I think what I did during my life. But at that time, I think I had some sort of call for this. And at some point, I just wanted to keep doing physical activity for the rest of my life and make a life from it, which was very weird because we're speaking now about the 80s and people say, how you want to be just a physical education teacher? What is that? And for me, it was not being a physical education teacher. That was not the frame. What was is the flow into physical education and about sports and fitness, whatever it was, martial arts, why not? I was thinking at that time I will do this for the rest of my life and for sure it will be okay. I had faith into this. And martial arts teach you also a lot of discipline, commitment, sacrifice, respect for other people is very, very important. Now, when we speak about Bushido, or when we speak about the spirit of the traditional martial arts, and they teach you a lot of things that then you can apply after doing all your life, you know?
Yes.
So you don't know where the thing will bring you, but for sure it was already a search inside or some sort of call.
So these are the base abilities you used in your life after.
Sure. I build up on that a lot, sure.
About this period, do you remember your first job?
My first job?
Yes, in this field, because you said you were at the university and you were thinking about... You're
going to laugh. My first job, okay, I can tell you what was my first job. My first job was working in the fields.
Yes.
Agriculture.
Okay.
Yes, when I was like 13, 14, I got this contact from my mother. So I could go to put the pesticide on the trees with a mask and on the tractor. And after I did one full season in summer taking the almonds from the tree because I wanted to save money for two things. One was a leather jacket. I want to buy a leather jacket. And the second thing, I wanted to buy a course to become master in physical culture.
Okay.
And at that time you had also like, IFBB, other federations that were entering in Spain and that they were more or less starting to develop fitness. So with 16 years old, with that money, I paid my track and field monitor level. It's called monitor. It's like instructor level 1, let's say, or coach level 1 in Spain in track and field athletics. And the second course that I paid from that money with the first job in the fields was Cultura Física. So it was a sort of fitness certificate that I did for like 3 months studying. That was my first job. But then my first class in fitness, I was training from karate is easy, is normal evolution, normal thing to start to do weights, because you want to get more power, more strength, normal. And then I started to do these things in a fitness gym in my neighborhood. And at some point, the teacher, the trainer that was there, the coach, Vicente was the name. Vicente said, I cannot come tomorrow. Can you cover my classes? I said, okay. I always was saying yes to everything. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's go for it. So I was teaching my first fitness classes. I was just like 14, 15 years old. So like something like that. And that's why I wanted to have the certificate, because then I felt that, that is so cool. It's so nice to do this job or these things. So everything was connected at that time.
So this was the transition from a student, an athlete, to coaching.
No, actually,
was this the moment that prepared you for this, or
the thing is that I was competing in one knockdown competition. I finished third. It was in Madrid. It was the region of Madrid, and I hurt my knee. After the competition, I feel my knee has some problem. And then for 1 year, the knee was not recovering. And then I started to do other things, just waiting until this would be recovered. But in that moment came fitness, because I started to do a lot of recovery in the gyms for the knee. And then I started to be much more involved in fitness. And then I started to teach. They came, Liza Campbell was Miss Universe at that time from Australia, and she was working in Madrid. And by chance, they did a casting for their gyms. They wanted to find new instructors. And I came there and they said, you have a lot of charisma. You are a disaster with your cueing and teaching people, but you have a nice smile. And then maybe you can do that. And I started to work into that direction. So the knee injury after a while was good, but then I was interested into fitness and things like that. I finished the university. I moved to Italy. I just took my luggages and went to Italy because of love. And there in Italy, I started to teach more aerobics, and I still was competitive. I had a competitor set up. So I said, okay, I don't do martial arts. I'm going to compete in aerobics. It's not so difficult. The aerobic sport, I think, is not so difficult. Of course, it was. But with my background, I won the national. So I became Italian aerobic champion at that time. And in Spain, I was finalist for 2 times. And again, I had an injury. After that, I hurt my shoulder and I had to make a surgery. So basically, the transition from athlete to trainer or to coach was because at some point I had a lot of injuries and I could not deliver what I wanted. We're speaking about, I was 25 years old when I got the surgery in the shoulder. And after that, I could not do aerobic competitions anymore. And then I was in IDEA convention. All my money was for the educations. I was just investing in my educations. I was getting money from teaching classes, and then I was studying. I gathered money and I went for the first time to America, to USA. At that time, it was not internet. So if you wanted to search for the new things coming, you had to go to the place. So we used to spend a lot of summers in America. And the first time I went to America, I went to see the competition, the world competition in aerobics. And I was so sad because I just did the surgery, and my friends that were competing in Spain and that they won in the championship, they were competing there. But then it was the IDEA convention. And the IDEA convention was supposed to have the best teachers in the world teaching in that stages. And I said, okay, if I cannot be the best in that stage of the competition, I'm going to be the best in that stage of the teachers. I want to be the best teacher. And then I started to work hard. That was 95. And look, in 2000, we were the first Spanish people invited to IDEA convention. It was me and Daniel Gonzalez, the first one that we were invited to teach asymmetrical step and asymmetrical choreographies, which was something that we developed a lot in Spain. And after the 2000, everything exploded. We became very famous because it was boom. Mm-hmm. It was something completely new. After 10 years of symmetrical programs in choreography and step in IDEA, came the 2 guys from Spain, and we brought like a revolution from methodology point of view, no? Speaking about methodology and the flavor that we were bringing to our classes. So from 2000, then the martial arts part was completely fade out for that period, and then started the career in fitness. Yeah, big time. Then is when I started to travel all around the world.
I was curious, how did you decide to come in Romania? Because a lot of people know you from a big brand, gym brand, in Romania. And how this happened? How did you get here?
That's the thing. No, when I started to be more famous in fitness, there's a lot of collaborations and a lot of places where you are invited to teach, or sometimes as you just go for 1 weekend and you teach for 1 weekend to professionals or conventions, no, like your amazing summits, yes, things like that. So I was doing this for like 25 years. But also at the same time happened that in Italy they called me for 6 months as a guest star in one center, and that center was also managed by the Italian Fitness Federation. And at some point they told me, we want you to stay more, we want you to take care of the aerobic courses, of the aerobic instructor courses. You have a method, why you don't teach this for us? So I started to do like a demo course. It went very well, and they said, we want all the courses in Italy be coordinated by you. And then I became coordinator of all what was group fitness, the group fitness division or the group fitness department in the Italian Fitness Federation. So I was supposed to stay there for 6 months, and I stayed like 10 years coordinating the team, and we did such a beautiful thing. So at that time, it was like the golden age of the Italian Fitness Federation, and we created so many programs, exercise programs, training programs, that we had people from all the world, especially from Europe, from countries that at that time they were not really maybe in the European bubble, but Ukrainians, like Romanians, like Russians, a lot. They started to come to Italy to learn from us, and I was the director or the anima mater of all these things. So I was blessed to have these people that believe on me and all these trainers that came into the team, and we did such a nice thing. So that I started to manage. It was not only coach, but then I started to manage a team, and that keep rolling.
Yes.
So after that, I helped to found a school in Tunisia for a good team there also of trainers, and they still are one of the most renowned fitness schools in Tunisia. After that, I co-founded a school in Spain with some colleagues from Spain, and I was fitness director in that school also for like 3 years, something like that. And after having studied sports in Madrid, I decided to come back to Spain for 3 years to study physiotherapy. I was interested in functional training, and I wanted to have also all what is the approach from physiotherapy, not only a sports performance, and all my injuries historic was actually asking me for that. And then from there, I went to Prague, another company, another school, fitness school called me to go to Prague. And it happened that in Prague, after some years, I was scouted by Romanians. And then they called me, you have to come to Romania. And already I was teaching sometimes in conventions here in Romania, because other organizations were also calling me to teach here. But I was coming here for 2 days or 3 days or 1 day and then leaving. And then me and my wife, we decided, let's do that. Let's go to Romania for 1 year. And of course, as usual,
can imagine as usual,
as usual, it's not 1 year, it's a little bit more, it's way a lot. And we were happy being here. And that's why we stayed here 10 years. I stayed 10 years. And I got a very, very great opportunity from professionally speaking in MENA, in Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. And then I moved to Saudi Arabia, but my wife and my daughter, who was born in Romania, so my daughter is actually de facto Romanian, are still living here. So now I'm going back and forth from Saudi Arabia to Romania. And that's how the story of management, how brought me here, basically like this.
Because you mentioned this, maybe you can talk us through the managing of high-end gyms, because this I think is a very interesting subject for the ones that are building careers and entrepreneurships in this domain. So can you speak a little bit about the challenges? What is the vision you should have? What are the things you should focus on?
A lot of things in my career happened, I would say, like, by chance, or it's not like I was really searching for it, but somehow you have to get ready for what will come. So I think for a manager, the first thing is to get well educated in the domain in which you want to manage. And then I think it should be like a genuine interest and to be honest inside of you why you want to manage people. And the big thing also, one big thing here is if the people that you want to manage won't be managed by you. Yes. And that's why I say it happened something like it came by chance, because I was not meant to be the manager of the Italian fitness education. I was just a trainer. But as a coach, the other coaches saw the value of me putting some guidelines. Because if the guidelines or the directives that you put there help the other people to do the job or to do their task better, then they give you value to what you are doing. And they see that what you are doing is not for your sake, is you are doing for the sake of the team. And that is honesty, is being fair, is be equanimous. So you have to be very much fair and really try to manage, I would say, in a very sincere way. Is a difference between being a manager and being a manipulative person. The manager sometimes tends to manipulate, or you put people there for whatever that you think in the future, no? It's a design that you have. I was speaking about this thing. I think a manager is like you have a garden. Your garden is your gym or the team you want to manage. Yes. You think that the garden is very good for your house or for you or for the people that live around the garden. It's going to be something healthy, beautiful, worth for the community. And then you have a soil. The soil is the gyms or the platform that you use for the work. I say, this is the soil. And then you put a seed, you put water, you put light, you put whatever you have to put for this plant to grow. But once the plants start to grow, the plant is going to grow in the way that the plant wants to grow. Now the human being has the chance that if the human being doesn't like that soil, can leave. And that is my message. I wherever I work, I create a platform, I create an environment, I create the rules, standard operation procedures, whatever you want to call it, a way of managing that has evolved a lot during these years, obviously with the experience. But you are not obliged to be here. You are free to go. But if you stay here, we have a way to work all together, and maybe it fits for you. So at that point, you are not anymore manipulating people, but you are giving the people the chances, and you are helping the people. And that's, I think, the big transition from my first way of managing to what I'm today. I am just running all over the place to help people. So once I hired, and I'm very, very tough on the recruitment, I'm very picky on the recruitment. That is the first thing. Once they get inside, then they have to get all the chances. But as well as they get all the chances, remember that they come from martial arts. So I demand sacrifice, I demand work, I demand respect, and I demand commitment. And after that, very often, by chance, by luck, I don't know, I'm blessed and magic happens. So that is the thing.
How you select people? You said you have like this very hard selection
Yes.
at the beginning.
Look, I've been doing recruitment in different ways. Before, I was relying more on other people doing the recruitment for me. Now, for example, in Saudi Arabia, which we have this amazing project that we are carrying on there, I do the recruitment myself directly. So for 2 years, I've been recruiting directly myself, interviewing each trainer. So we started with 7 trainers, the very first 7. And now we are like 160 trainers, more or less, growing by days. We started with 1 gym, and now we have 12 plus 1 opening now these days. We are opening the 12 plus 1. Yes, thank you. And they are big boxes. We are speaking about gyms of 3,500 square meters, 4,000 square meters. And half of the gyms are just for ladies, and the other half of the gyms that we have are for men. That is the culture and the conditions that we have there. So for 2 years, I was recruiting the ladies and also the men. And now, finally, I got an assistant, fitness director assistant, and she was with me for a while. And in the style of management that I have now, we pay a lot of attention to the onboarding process, whatever is the layer in which you come into the company as a professional. You will have an onboarding that you have to follow. So it means different steps and different things that you have to learn to be ready to do your job and enjoy your job and be happy on your job after a certain amount of time. And the same, this assistant fitness director, this girl came to the job. We had this onboarding, this period in which she was learning, and now she's doing the recruitment for me. So we are recruiting on her side and on my side. But the process of recruitment comes from scouting them. We have also companies, agencies that are scouting the candidates that think that for us are really fit. And for that also I had to teach to the agencies what we are searching for. And then we have a structure. That was one of the first things that I had to create when I came to that company. The same that I created here in Romania, a structure where you have different tiers, different categories, different types of trainers. And then in the recruitment, we have to see the trainer that comes in which category, in which type, in which typology, where is the place where it can really fit in the gyms. And then after we have the interviews, then we have the test. We always test them. They have to come to the gym to teach a class, or they have to send their videos, and then we have to evaluate them. And after that, they come. And now in Saudi Arabia, we have this 3 months probation, is by the law. So once finally we decide, okay, you come, you are one of us, we give you everything now, but then they have 6 weeks normally to have the first part of the onboarding. The very first part is like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then until the 6th week, they have to deliver something. Then at the end of the second month, they are evaluated if they're gonna sign the agreement or decide to don't sign the agreement. It's very important, this 3 months period, no? And if the trainer for some reason is not a fast learner, because we try to scout fast learners because it's very important that they come and they jump into the thing. Yes. If for some reason there's not a fast learner, but we feel that there is attitude, there is heart, passion, they are committed. And then we just can extend the probation, also by the law, other 3 months. And then after they sign, they are in. But this means that you have pre-selection, interviews, tests, first evaluation after 2 weeks, second evaluation after 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And then there is a lot of things to do. And it doesn't stop there, because if we don't like how they work in 1 year, then obviously we don't renew. So they are in constant evaluation and in constant training. Absolutely. There's no way that the trainer come into our company with this level of certification and after 1 year I ask and they have the same level of certification. That is not possible. I never did this in my life. I keep studying every month. I keep paying classes with my teachers. Yes. And they say, oh, you have teachers. Yes, we always have teachers. We always have to learn. So that's the point.
So training and evaluation, this is the main point, as I see.
Yes.
If you want to develop a very experienced team and...
Absolutely. There's no way that you cannot stay there just thinking that what you have is enough. Also for that, we created different things that normally you don't see in the fitness industry. For example, very often people can just produce as much as personal training as they want. Instead, in our company, we have caps. So we don't let the trainers go over a certain amount of training, of personal training sessions, which normally is the opposite. Why I do that? Because I prefer that they reach this number of personal trainings. And then after they have time for rest, they have time to study. So they will not come to me telling me, no, sorry, coach, I didn't have time to do educations because I had so much work. No, because your work is this. I calculate the hours. By the law, it's 160 hours per month, maximum that you have to do. I just give you that. We are creating a very nice, as I said before, we try to create the best environment for the trainers. And at the same time, we can give that, obviously also because our product there is premium and luxury. It's already Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And in Saudi Arabia, our position as a product and as gyms, we are on top of the pyramid. So also the revenue for one single personal training session is good. So the trainers, we have the queue to come to work for us. So actually, because all what we are creating, no, and we are trendsetters and we are innovating a lot, and that's a beautiful thing to keep always innovating. Yeah.
I was curious to learn more about how you went to this yoga, Pilates field and into this area, and how you changed the philosophy from functional training, aerobics to this.
I think everything is always related to that call of the martial artist inside. I stopped to do martial arts karate 23 years old. I started with fitness and all of that, and then in 2000 I was already, as I told you, teaching in America, in Los Angeles, Anaheim, Los Angeles, and then teaching all around the world. But in 1998, now people can start to say, how old is this guy? Yes, in 1998, the Italian Fitness Federation told me, you have to do a yoga program for us. My answer was, no way. Why not? You do karate, martial arts, you have all the knowledge that you have, your physical education things. Yeah, I have knowledge, but this is nothing. So yoga is another thing. And precisely because I have the respect for martial arts, what karate is, I was maybe imagine, I cannot just do a yoga program just because I'm whom. What is that? Just because I'm putting there a certificate on physical education and sports and my background in karate, but this is two completely different things. So I said, no, I will not do yoga for you, but if you want, surely I can do something about stretching. And they say, okay, if you win, you do a program for stretching for us. And then I created this power stretch. To create power stretch, I didn't want to go into yoga, but I had to study methodology of stretching. And then at that time, 98, I started to study the muscular chains. I was reading, fortunately, because my studies, I had access to that. So I knew about Mézières, Godelief-Struve, Souchard. All of these are masters of the posturology. On one side, you have today very, very obviously is a full science, growing very fast, which is osteopathy, no, with Taylor Still. But a lot of comes also for the studies of all these pioneers, no. So I was just reading about these things, and I was taking notes and doing my manuals and my things. I created this power stretch. But now, once you have the methodology, okay, what are the postures that I'm going to use for this methodology? And then it comes open chain posture, closed chain posture, or closed hip posture, open hip posture. And this is the Mézières method. And basically it's very much inspired on yoga. And I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna just go to yoga. So the postures were yoga, but I never call it yoga because it was not, because I understand it's something more. But I started to practice yoga. And now that's it. I was teaching power stretch in my conventions where I was invited. I was invited by the doctor, not by himself, by Dr. Kenneth Cooper, but by the coordinators, the group fitness coordinators from the Kenneth Cooper Institute in Dallas. I mean, Kenneth Cooper is the one who invented aerobics. I was invited to bring the power stretch program there, and they were teaching this in Dallas for some years. But meanwhile, myself, I started to practice yoga because when I started to practice yoga to develop the program, I love it so much. And this is something that people don't know. I was practicing yoga then from 98 until 2010. Besides what is my fitness thing, I like it for me. It was making me feel good. Obviously, with my background of fitness and power and energy, the yoga I was practicing was more like Ashtanga. I was doing Ashtanga primary sets or hard vinyasas. I was going into hot yoga because it was hard by default. That was the way that everything, let's say, started. I finished physiotherapy 2009, and I said, okay, I'm now practicing yoga for like 10 years. I want to take a certification. Maybe now I'm ready to take a certification. Then I go to India. I just do some research, the teacher training course, 200 hours. I end up in Rishikesh like so many people today. And then I take my course. But to be honest, after 10 years that I'm practicing yoga by myself, when I go to do this course, it's like not really what I was expecting. It was not the education that in my imagination and for the respect that I was professing for the subject, for the matter, that is something really missing here. And luckily, nearby this teacher training course, it was an Iyengar yoga studio. You cannot call it studio, it's actually an ashram. It was an ashram where there is even today this senior teacher teaching the method Iyengar yoga. And BKS Iyengar was there when I was following the teacher training course, and our Yogacharya in the teacher training course told us that BKS Iyengar was in Rishikesh too late. So I didn't really know BKS Iyengar, but obviously I knew something about him, and I felt that it was something wrong, that this personality was there and I could not have met him. But because of that, I think the day that I said, that is enough, this course is not for me, and then I just crossed the bridge, I went to the ashram and I said, I want to take classes here. 1 week after BKS Iyengar was in that center. And they said, okay, you can come from Monday. And then I started from that Monday until today, I'm practicing Iyengar yoga. So that's the thing. When I came back from India from that trip, that was like a revelation. Anya was with me. We were together. Both we started with the same day with her, with that teacher. And then at some point coming back to India every year to practice with her, after some years, they recommend us to go to another teacher in Europe. And then we kept following. I'm not saying names just because I don't want to promote anything. I want to be fair with everybody, no? But of course, if you can contact me after in my socials or whatever, I can just help everybody and share more if you want. But that's the thing, how I came little by little into yoga. And at some point, yoga saved my life. But that is another story.
You can share more about this. Because I know a lot of people start yoga because they change their philosophy, or they have like some challenges in their life. Most of the people start yoga like this. So maybe you can share more about what was the journey for you here.
That's funny. No, also when we are in the teacher training, before even the teacher training course, I did some experience in ashram, because my first trip in India, it was 1 year before the TTC. And I was just going ashram to ashram just to experience the thing. And I remember they were taking everybody and like, why you are doing yoga? And people were coming with such sad stories, something like this. And normally I was saying, I'm fine. I love my job. My life is just cool. It's perfect. But I just think that I want to know more about that. And one day I remember during the TTC, they put this question to Anya, and everybody was putting again that sad stories. And Anya, my wife, She was like, I don't know what to say because I'm so happy and my life is so good. So that was a good departure point. It was curiosity for me. It was a moment in which, okay, now it's 10 years practicing this in a not really very structured way, and it's not me. I want something much more structured. And that's why, obviously, I end up in the more structured way of practicing Hatha Yoga, which is Iyengar Yoga. But after some years, basically, I got cancer. That's the story. And exactly 6 years ago, I got cancer. I was already in the practice of Iyengar Yoga. I was practicing Iyengar Yoga already for like 4 to 6 years. And I was lucky also because I was already going to Pune. Pune is the birthplace of the Iyengar Yoga method. The method itself is not the birthplace of BKS Iyengar, our guru, but is where the Iyengar method just took the solidified and then was built. And today there is still today the Ramamami Institute, which is where the Iyengar Yoga community grows and study. So I was already going there to practice, which is a big achievement already for a normal Iyengar Yoga practitioner. And practicing there, you practice really with the senior teachers, people that were under BKS Iyengar for many years. I had the chance to practice with Gita Ji before she passed, BKS Iyengar daughter. I keep practicing with Prashant, his son, with Sunita, the other daughter, with Abhijata. So it's just for a person that follows this lineage, it's just amazing. We are blessed with that. And for 11 years, I've been traveling in India until COVID. Every year, I would go there for 1 month. And so I was already in Pune. And when I came here, at some point, I was diagnosed with cancer. And then I wrote to one of the senior teachers saying, I don't know if you remember me. You were correcting me that day in that pose. And it happens that I got this. And immediately, she's from Chicago. And immediately she answered, yes, I remember. So you have to do this pose, this pose, this pose, and this pose. And when you will come to Pune, they will fix it. And meanwhile, Gita Ji, which was still alive, told to the secretary, you tell to Julio and to his wife to come here to Pune. He will do a special program based on asana, and after they will carry on when they finish the staying here. And you know, Gita Ji, for who practice Iyengar Yoga, there's no words to describe what she represents, and what she represented, and what she represents, even if she's not here anymore. So I flew to Pune after 3 weeks of my surgery. I had to change oncologist because the oncologist that I had here in Romania, the first one after the surgery, just wanted to give me chemo by default. And I said, before the chemo, I want to wait to see something. And then he said he didn't want to follow me. Then it was my responsibility. And I said, okay, goodbye. La revedere. And I traveled to India. Meanwhile, in that interval of time that was very special, Gita Ji passed. So I was like a little bit in panic because she passed. I had all my faith on her power and on her studies and on her knowledge. But when I came there, this teacher from Chicago was there. And she's just amazing. And I can just say that. And then she and Abhijata, the granddaughter of BKS Iyengar, Raya, other people there took care of the program that I was following. And now imagine 3 weeks taking the poses that she gave to me. Come on, it's Lois. I can say the name. But 3 weeks with the poses that Lois gave to me. And then 2 weeks in Pune following also what Lois was giving to me. So it means 5 weeks she was working basically mostly on my lungs because I had some nodule. And after 2 weeks there, I did also cure with Ayurveda, thanks to other friends that they recommend me Ayurveda doctor. And the husband of the Ayurvedic doctor was an allopathic doctor, brought me to the oncologist. And then I got again a PET CT, MRI, all what you have to do. And I didn't have any cancer cell active on my body already after just five weeks. And the nodules in the lungs were almost disappearing. I remember the words of everybody there in the medical classes, how happy we were. And after that, they changed the program to work on the reactionary nodules that you get in the inguinal area, because the surgery was in the inguinal area. And I had some nodules. You know, being physiotherapist, it was very easy. I was just touching them and I was noticing the volume of these nodules, you know. So after one day, only when they changed the program, and after one day working with the specific poses, the nodules were half at the palpation. And after a couple of days more, there were no nodules anymore in the inguinal area. So when I came to the new oncologist here in Romania, in Bucharest, with all the results by the exams in India, she was like, "What do you do?" I said, "Yoga. What can I say?" She was like, "Okay, I don't really understand what do you do, but keep doing it because it looks like it works." And that's the story, just making it fast, because you put it like this, it's fast, but it's very intense, obviously. No, it's very intense. But then I kept going, and until last year, and then I did 5 years. So basically it's 5 years cancer free. It's a very important milestone for who has passed by this process.
Of course.
And now we are on the 6th year and counting and happy.
What do you think it helped you the most? Because I'm sure that the practices really helped you, but what do you think helped about your mindset, about your focus? Because I'm also very curious for you to tell us what was your first thought, you know, because most of the people that have like health problems usually are defeated from the first diagnosis, and they cannot continue searching for methods, solutions and everything.
Yeah, that is funny. The moment that the doctor told me, "Sit here." Well, you have a cancer, you have a tumor there, and it's a bad one. I know because by experience. Boom, he tells you that. And I said to him, "Okay, so what is the next thing to do?" "Well, you should have a surgery first, and then let's see after what is the process, no? What we have to do." I said, "Okay, when we can organize that." So I was very cold speaking, and he was like, "Okay, you don't look that much affected." I said, "Well, I am, but that it is what it is. So what we have to do now?" And when I came out of the corridor, I remember I was waiting one moment, and I said, I discovered myself saying, "Thanks God," saying to God, "Thank you," which that was kind of surprising because I have my periods in which I'm more or less believer, but probably in that day I was very much believing. But I felt it was a blessing.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why, but on time, I didn't know why, but on time I think that when you are put in this situation, you have two options. Or you give up, or you fight. And obviously martial arts, I think, sports, performance, I don't know. Maybe my nature is, okay, thank you. Now I know what I have to do. There's no other disturbance in the, you know, very often it's like, why I'm here, what I have to do, what is my life? No, at that point, everything fades. And the thing that is the thing you have to do, is clear the path. The path is do everything is possible to just get rid of that and manage this. Plus, enjoy every second that you have here. Because I can tell you, enjoy the present. You never know when you're gonna leave. We know that. There's plenty of literature, plenty of messages. All time they are reminding us this. But it's not the same when you know that when you experience it. Understand?
I understand.
It's very different.
I don't really know if I know how it is, but I really understand what you mean.
It's very different when you live it in your skin, or when it's only your mind, or the full, whatever is the fullness of you in that moment, experiences. So that's the thing. So that you feel that death, it can be much more imminent than what you think, even if you know that it could be.
Yes.
No, it's different thing, you know. So that's why I think it's a blessing. From that moment, it's like, I know what I have to do is fight against that. That is the priority. And then that was my wife was really amazing. That's another blessing. And it's another blessing that have people that love you around. That is a big blessing. Love people around is a big blessing. And very often we forget about that. And these things put you on place, at least to appreciate the things, So all in all, that was the thing.
What do you think was the biggest change you made after this episode in your life?
I think I see every day differently now. And when I get caught into the spiral of whatever is the daily stress, whatever life is bringing to you, this and my practice on the mat, my practice on yoga, on that meditative techniques that we learn through the practice of asana in my case, because our method is based on that. So this experience that comes triggered by, let's put the tumor, and the experience that I get and the training, conditioning that I get from yoga makes me like, whenever I'm caught in something, I can switch fast to appreciate the other side, which I think before I didn't have that capacity. And also when I am still, I think, very much fire inside, so I am a person that can explode. People think, yoga, you are so calm because they just see me for 5 minutes, or maybe they see me. But my nature is kind of explosive. But at the same time, I can switch very fast again to calm and to appreciate from another place. I become much more open to change the point of view and to accept what is coming, because you have to accept what is coming. And since you cultivate acceptance for what life gives to you, in that case, the cancer, and it was not only that, because the 3 years after it was a mess. I got surgeries coming every year. So I think I was paying off whatever excesses were done during my sporty and extreme life in too much activity, or just too generous activity. I was exaggerating. I was always more pushing. And at some point you have to pay back. So yeah, that's the thing.
So this leads me to the next question, because you seem to work a lot and to have worked a lot in all these years. And you mentioned your family and the balance that it gives you. And I wanted to ask how you can balance work, family, health.
Yeah, this happens it happened in that period as well. When Kira came here, my daughter, when Kira came here, me for Anya and I was like what we really wanted. But still I was in a big rhythm traveling here and there. It was very hard for my wife. I was, the moment that Kira came here, I was touring in America. And then from Romania, I was going to America every month, and I had to do some cities. I was just going to all over USA. That was very hard, and we were in crisis at that moment. After delivering, imagine for a woman, after delivering and find herself very often alone at home, dealing with everything, first baby. And the thing is also being in Romania, no my mother, not her mother, so no family. So we had to deal everything alone. So after that tour finished, it was like, okay, something needs to finish here. And then I started to work even more on management, and I just dropped a lot of these conventions. And because that was, I can tell you, was 8 years ago, yoga was already, Iyengar yoga was there a lot. And then we said, we have to work more into the yoga thing. Being here in Romania has given us the opportunity to keep studying yoga, traveling to yoga, the work as manager in here doesn't oblige me to travel around the world to get the money for home, for the family. And in Romania, there is a lot of people coming to my classes as a yoga teacher. We founded also one of the first Pilates academies in Romania. My wife kept growing in Pilates and in yoga as well, but also in Pilates she grew exponentially with one of the best schools in the world. So all of that is, let's focus in here. We don't need to just travel and keep going. Let's focus in here. And we had some schools here, some courses here done. We created a community. We were involved much more in the community in Romania. And people here is lovely. It's a very nice connection with Romanian people. I don't know if because I'm Spanish and we are like Latins,
Similar,
but is another story. When you come to Balkans and then you land in Romania, it's different from what is all around. And not like I'm saying the other thing is not I don't like, but in Romania there's a special connection, at least for what happened with me. We decided to work more static or more here, and until COVID came, and then came that opportunity in Saudi Arabia. And to be honest, the plan was, let's move to Saudi Arabia together. But I go in avanscoperta, like we say in Italy. So you go first, you see, you prepare, and they come. And when it came the moment of coming, my daughter is in love with gymnastics. She's practicing rhythmic gymnastics here in one club here. And we come from sports. My wife was also a rhythmic gymnast. There's no rhythmic gymnastics in Saudi Arabia. None. And now we sit the three of us again, because we always speak together. We take the decisions in three. And what we do with this little beast, I mean, my daughter, if we go to Saudi Arabia, all the love she has for gymnastics is finished. I was thinking maybe I will do karate, because I took karate again. So now it's like other 10 years I'm practicing karate again, no? But I can teach her. I have my senpai grade. I can teach her the karate like a thing, like it was used to be a family thing. But I tried in the beginning. It was good. But when she was, I would say, hooked by rhythmic gymnastics, is love for gymnastics. So how could I take my daughter out of that? That is not possible. No way. And first thing. And second thing, my wife also, together with the Iyengar yoga that she's doing, she was finishing Fletcher Pilates education. So she went into all the levels until she reached the last level after a decade non-stop studying and investing, traveling different cities of Europe to follow the teachers as well. And then we said, okay, Kira does gymnastics, you finish your Fletcher educations, whatever it is, and then we will see. And that was why now I'm 3 years in Saudi Arabia, fully committed to that project, and they are here. And then I'm just coming back and forth. And we said, it's not the first time that a husband has to travel. We manage well today technologies, Zoom after COVID, and all these things, all the platforms that we have. I speak with my daughter every day. We do the homeworks together. We see each other all the time. We train together. I do trainings for her online. When she comes to Saudi Arabia, I train her in the dojo. We have a dojo, and then we train gymnastics there together, because actually it happens that I am gymnastic trainer because I did this education in the university. That's why I competed in aerobics and I got the results, because I got also this specialty in the university. All in all, that is for now what we have. And that opens opportunities also here and there.
Yeah, so we will change the topic. And you said you participated in a lot of conventions. I know there are hundreds of conventions you attended. And you just presented for Sense for Fit Summit. Mm-hmm. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, how it was the summit for you, if you think it's a great opportunity in Romania. How do you see Sense for Fit Summit?
I am amazed by the Sense for Fit Summit, really. You say, well, maybe I've been in 1,000 conventions, something like this, easy. Because for 20-something years, I was on the circuit. And every year I would do like 60, 100 sometimes, because you do two yes. Easy. Okay, let's go down 50, even if it's 15, 20 years. So yes, you can calculate how many conventions are, no? For example, thinking about FIBO in Germany, which is very big, thinking about Rimini in Italy, which in Rimini I've been like 20 years invited. 19. Once I was invited, but I broke my leg. Yes, I was with the crutches there. So yeah, considering FIBO and Rimini, let's consider two very big ones. FIBO once used to be like the idea convention of Europe, and it had a lot of also group fitness. It had a lot of activities connected to the gym. What is the product inside of the gym in terms of trainers, coaching. Now FIBO had almost dropped all what is group fitness. The experience of group fitness in FIBO is almost nothing. They keep working a lot with bodybuilding. And obviously, as manufacturers, and they bring the big brands there of the industry, and then there you have the biggest volume of business done in FIBO, as a forum. Now you have Rimini. Instead, Rimini is the Italian version of it. It's like a big market. It's like a chaos. And it's like a really like a huge market. I don't know. You you think about Marrakesh or fitness or whatever. It's not pejorative. I'm speaking about the creativity and the variety that the Italian people normally have when they do things. Rimini started called not Rimini Wellness. Rimini Wellness is a new name. Actually, it was called Il Festival di Fitness. So it was a festival. Okay. And it was really like a fest, but the big fest, the big party, yes, festival. Yes. It was called like this for 10 years. It was called festival, even more than 10 years. And it was held there in the Rimini Exposition Center in the previous one. So it was smaller, and there were. And this was the first time that I was there. I was in that festival, not what now is called Rimini Wellness. And obviously, it's a festival which is very much about the people of the gyms. Popolo delle palestre is what they say in Italy. Popolo delle palestre. So it's not so much for maybe the business itself. Yes. Yeah, the big business, but it's for the popolo. It's for the people that really live in the gyms. That is very beautiful. But now what happens in Rimini is that the organizers, Rimini Wellness of Festival, how it happens, you know very well. If you don't know, maybe people that is listening now will know. What they do is you rent a space, no? You pay for a space, me as whomever.
Brand or company.
Federazione Italiana di Fitness, they have a big part in the FIBO, and then there they organize their own program. So you have 2, 3, 4 stages depending on the year. As a presenter, for example, I was a fitness professional teaching in the stages. We knew by the trend what will be the best stage to be. So you apply, or you wait that they will, or you move your contacts to be called for that specific stage, because you know that it's going to be the biggest stage with the best names, with the best light, with the best sound, and then you want to shine, no? Because after, people will come from all Europe and Japan, whatever they come, and they will see you, no? And then you can go and be invited in other places. So but it's a bet, because you have the best stages ever, and after you have other stages which maybe that year it doesn't go as planned. The quality, let's say, of the different stages is not homogeneous. Let's put it like that. Yeah. With all due respect, because a lot of conditions, budgets, whatever it is. Now, the experience that you created here has this homogeneity, this quality. You had an amazing quality control. And at the same time, this Sense for Fit Summit was huge. So probably it's like the third event in size that I saw this year in Europe. But it is the best quality control when you speak about group fitness, because you really care about that. And in the other things, because if we are speaking about bodybuilding, you had people like, nobody want more Mr. Olympus than Dorian Yates, to mention, no? For example. And when you see the area where we were doing, I say where we, because normally I get involved in this, yes, in these things, and I like to be like, we did very good. We Romanians, we did very good. So when I see the CrossFit area, the energy that was there and what you were seeing was like, wow. So it was a constant wow. Body and mind, where I was teaching and where other people were involved, it was just another wow. It was full, packed all time. I could not expect that level of attendance, and also the attention and the love and the connection with the participants, which, speaking with my, let's say, former colleagues of fitness, of aerobics, like Gilles Lopez, my brother, Per Marcusen, Anna Georgescu, people that were there around. And then I can say about a lot of names from Romania, no? From Marius Berbecuț or Andrei Penu, or people that I saw on the stages there. Alex Mo, Alessandro Mo, they were all saying, wow, people is just amazing. And just walking around, that is what I felt. And that is a big difference. I think it's a treasure that you can keep putting some effort on it, betting on it. And maybe after a while you will start to spread and yeah, why not? Renting the place like Rimini. But for now, that makes a big, big, huge difference. And I think people, obviously, they felt it.
I'm sure. They are looking forward.
And one more thing. I remember, you didn't see the first time that Rimini Wellness was done. I was there. And that was in a very interesting period. It was the end of the contract of Festival del Fitness. Then the people that were organizing this Festival del Fitness decided to go to another location because probably something happened with the contracts, normal. And then Rimini Wellness, at that point, they didn't have the organizers that were organizing the expo for them. And I was there in that specific year. And then they created Rimini Wellness ex novo. But at the same time, it was another expo in another city, in Florence. So that was a sort of war between the cities in Italy. And the Rimini Wellness that year, I think that was more or less at the same level that I saw Sense for Fit. And Sense for Fit Summit today is like the first time that you do. So I just really hope, like a lot of people that were there, let's hope that they will do it again and that it will keep growing, because it's something to be proud of as Romanian, and not proud just from the point of view of ego, but proud because I think it's worthy, it's useful for the society, for the market itself, but it's very much useful for the community and for the people of Romania. That's it. So it's very much needed. Good for you and good for Romania.
Thank you. So if we talk about future, I want to talk a little bit with you about your future and how you see the future. And I know that you have some projects coming on, combining Pilates with Reformer Pilates and yoga. If you can tell us more about this.
Yes, of course. I'm glad to speak a little bit about that. As I told you, when I was in Italian Fitness Federation, I was developing all these programs for FIF. I was invited to teach in different countries. And for example, in that period, I helped to create this school in Tunisia, which, by the way, was the first time that I was really working in an Arabic country, a Muslim country, and I discovered a lot about the people there. And it was just like another big wow, another milestone in my career to understand people, So, for example, that one. Or, for example, in France, I was working for a big brand, developing product for them. So, like different classes that were then taught in their gyms. Or, for example, the Power Stretch in Kenneth Cooper in Institute in Dallas. And also another project that I liked very much, I was working for the #1 company in Russia, fitness. I speak about gyms. So I went there to do an audit of their training programs, and then we were working together with their experts, cleaning the offer that they had and putting some structure on it, creating manuals for the trainers. So all of that I've been doing always in a lot of different countries. And now I have this project in Saudi Arabia, which is just amazing, and we said we have to go for it. And there is different stages of the project that we are really going step by step. We are reaching all the stages that were set. But my wife and my daughter are here in Romania, and then I got contacts, I got things, you get contacted by people. And then comes that 1 year ago, I was for the first time in Sense for Fit, and that's how it happened that we started to speak about what are your plans, why you are not here in Romania. I said, well, it's going to be a long time that I will not be in Romania because I have things to do, but I'm open to develop things in other countries. And now comes the idea, which for many years, when I was already in Romania, I was proposing to the people I had access to open a concept just based on yoga and Pilates. And we have places like this in Romania. Yeah, we have. It's not like, nothing new. But the how you want to do that.
The quality of the...
there's quality, yeah. There is quality all around, but the experience overall needs to be different. And I think we need to upgrade the offer of these things. And I think also we have to scale it. There is 20 years ago, there were no gyms, or the gyms were in a way. And then comes world class, and then they did 40 clubs. I was part of it big time. I'm so happy also. I was blessed I was honored to work in that project. I wish them the best. But now you have also other coming, and then you have other brands, obviously. Stay Fit, now again, 40 gyms, and all the ones that are coming. And that is just beautiful. It's just beautiful because you have offer, you have quality, you have competition, and then everything needs to be better. You have to be better than the other. So in the end, who gets benefit from that is the society, is the community, obviously. So why this doesn't happen with yoga and Pilates? And I think at some point you need trendsetters or people that rise the level. Not because I don't mean there's no level now, but you need always people that will rise the level. In that time, for 2000 to 2015, world class was put in the level. And why they were put in the level? Also because they were present only in all the territory. So why we should not try to do something like that with yoga and Pilates? And especially because Romania made the transition for me. I came here as a fitness star, and after 10 years with all what happened here, my daughter, my health, my whatever, all what is my life experience, turned me much more into yoga. Now is what I do, is my health, is my life, is my mission. And the second mission, obviously, or my first mission, is my work, the management, fitness, health, bringing people. I always say physical activity is not enough. It needs to be intelligent physical activity. And normally I say intelligent physical activity for a better world. Now, what is intelligent physical activity for you? Can be fitness, sure, no? Of course. But can be also sports, sure. It needs to be intelligent. It has to have an intention, a value behind. Of course, yoga, for me, has it. It's full, 100%, 1000%. Pilates, the same. So now if fitness is now so advanced and can advance, why we don't have this in Romania? And that was my vision. I shared this with people I was before, but somehow it was not the moment. And now it looks like it's going to be the moment. So we are planning, we are creating like I call it the bonbonnière. So something small, very small, but it's a showroom for a concept that we hope it will grow. But this is very small, humble, but beautiful, and where we put all our heart, and where we will have Iyengar yoga, Fletcher Pilates, and not only, because we want to be inclusive. I have a lot of thanks to Romania for the yoga community in general in Romania. We are very reconnaissant to that. The same Pilates, we did different steps into the Pilates, and we brought Pilates in different ways here. So we want to be inclusive, and everybody will have a space in this project if they want. No? So that is.
So these are the short-term goals.
Mm-hmm.
What are your long-term goals? If you have thought about it, like personal and also professional.
Don't have. It's a question I said to people, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Yes.
No,
Like
in the interviews, I put this, no, because I want to know if they want to go for a management position or if they see them being a coach all their life, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to understand people. But, maybe after all this conversation that we had, I think in my case, I don't know what will be in 10 years. So I think that if I do good today and I put love into what I'm doing today, something good will come in return. It's not mathematic. You never know. Karma doesn't work like that. But if you are able to watch what you do today with love and gratitude, then it's a big thing. And I'm lucky because I do the best job in the world, which is sports all my life since I was young. I think my sport way of has become more and more intelligent in the sense that I understand in how I understand the intelligence. I have put an intention behind, which is help people with the job I do. That is a big strength inside. So my vision is I want to keep doing that as I'm breathing.
So you know the purpose, you not necessarily know the steps or the...
Steps, yes. Okay, you want to put it business point of view. Oh, I would love to have like a chain or this concept of yoga and Pilates blooming in different cities in Romania, and a lot of people are happy going to the classes there, and starting with movement and then going to whatever it is, because yoga obviously is not about movement. It's much more than that. It's way much more. It actually is not movement per se. But there is a way to get into it. And asana work, practice hatha yoga, call it vinyasa yoga, ashtanga yoga, all of these can help. The same Pilates. Prashant is the son, BKS Iyengar's son. Prashant ji is one of our gurus, mentors. And then he says, health is a byproduct. Of course it comes, but this is not the final goal of yoga. But it happened that if it's yoga, the way of doing yoga is made in a way, you're going to get health. And health is fundamental. It's the first need and the first thing for the human being. If you have health, then everything, the rest can bloom. But first of all, you need health. And health is not health physical, as you know. Today we know that health is a lot of different spheres connected. And you have the physical, you have the mental, you have the emotional, you have the spiritual. So everything should be in balance. Sometimes we forget, very often we forget. And through a center in which you can just enter and let all the things outside, and you are in a sort of bubble in which you can really focus on yourself inside of your skin, not outside, not on the picture that you will put on Instagram after, but what this being in that place makes to yourself inside of your skin. How do you feel? That is a thing that we should create. And for me, it would be just beautiful. Oh, we have so many centers like this and people is happy. That's it. It's just great.
Thank you so much. It was a very inspiring discussion. So I'm sure a lot of people will find it very inspiring. And I think you brought up many life lessons for clients doing yoga, for coaches, for trainers, for someone who just wants to build a great career in this field.
Thank
it was an honor.
Thank you, Anna.
So much.
I think my duty is to the teachers. First of all, I'm a teacher. That's why my first university. There is teachers and teachers. And I think a lot of teachers have been learning with me, from me. And I have a lot of teachers that I go to them to keep learning. And it is that is the thing. And I hope I think I inspired a lot of people in my team and people here in Romania. And I can get inspired by them when I see young people. I love young people coming into the teams and watching them. And I see myself, oh, I was like that, or I was like this. Oh, my friend was like that. Maybe this person will evolve like this. But yeah, just keep working. Just keep loving what you do. Whatever is your field, your work. But especially the coaches, the trainers, instructors, people that love to share this physical activity for whatever reason, then start to narrow the reason and use a reason that can elevate yourself, no, to reach a better you, and that's the secret. Then everything will come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mulțumesc frumos.
Mulțumim.